Next stop, I'm doing Crater Peak. And unsure where the trail is, so I have to check the map here. We're at the Vidaye Falls parking area. Are we gonna see a waterfall? Unsure. Looks like there's a couple drainages on either side of this parking. We're gonna cross one of them. But this is 6.4 miles with like 1,200 feet of gain. So not, look, I found a trail. So not trivial here, but there's a little bit of up and down in the beginning. So I think the push to the summit's only like 800 feet or something when we finally get to another low point a couple miles in. This is pretty cool. We got the creek here and we've crossed it on a snow bridge, which I don't think is gonna break, but that one has broken. So you gotta be careful with snow bridges. I don't think there's any falls that are gonna be too treacherous though on these hikes, which is good. So I don't think the snow is gonna be an issue for me. So basically we were down at the low point, had to get out of the snow. Once we found the trail, it's fine, it's all dry now. So I think, well, I was gonna say it's that crater up there because we do have a drop and a regain and some distance we have to cover. So I think it's that thing you see out there, which isn't very grand looking, but I could be wrong. It could be something up here out of sight. So should be pretty clear. Well, we haven't hit the high point yet. We hit a little high point, then we have to drop like, I don't know, a good 100 feet at least, before we then have our, say, 800 foot push to the summit. Maybe it's more, maybe it's a 150 foot drop. Climbing. So there's a lot of flatter terrain here in the middle of this hike. I think we're going up slightly, but I wouldn't say we've started the summit push. It's joggable, so we might have 700 feet or so to the summit, but I don't think it's going to be too steep. But I don't know, I haven't studied the elevation profile enough. All right, so I think that's your summit up there, looming fairly high above us, 600 feet maybe. The trail just banged a hard right and went up like 20 or 30 feet steeply, but now it's flat again, and that's got to be the summit. So still a while to go, and probably over a mile up there. All right, so it's now officially hike mode. You can see we're just somehow zigzagging up the slope to the summit, so maybe the final 400 to 500 feet. You know, we still have some distance though. I have passed three groups of people going back, so people do this trail. Had to walk across plenty of snow patches, as you can see in the shaded areas. As we knew from our previous hike, there's a lot of snow. So anyway, still a long way up, but it feels good in the shade. All right, well, one long trail segment has brought us up. I think this is it. So let me look at the map. Maybe which way? Let's go counterclockwise. So yeah, some of the mileage is in this loop around. So yeah, we've gained the crater rim, and there's the depression in there, so it looks like it's going to be higher over here. So maybe a little bit of vert left, and then we'll have a couple hundred feet on our way back with the ups and downs the first mile, or the mile closest to the car. So still climbing, but we have gained Mr. Rim here, and trail is suddenly overgrown with manzanita. Look at the views. Look at the views. Nice. What is that? I don't know. I should know. I don't even know which way I'm looking. Maybe I'll be on top of that next. Who knows? And I should have showed you. Look at the views out, which I believe is sort of to the south here of these lakes out here and this big valley meadow. Pretty cool. Let's get a couple pictures. I don't know what I'm going to use for the thumbnail for this. Maybe we'll get a good view of the crater at some point. The wind is spectacular up here. So that's Agency Lake and Upper Klamath Lake. I just looked at the map, so that more or less is south. Maybe south is there, and that's slightly southeast, but for all intents and purposes, south. And I think that might, nah, probably not. I was gonna say that might be Mount Scott. All right, so we have circumnavigated our crater. I think it was higher on the right over there on the trees, but now we should have, we get to romp down this thing like 600 or 700 feet, and then it'll be smoother with some little bumps later on. There was a group of 4 up there, 5, having a little picnic. So a lot of people on this hike. All right, before you know it, we're back. Time to bag 3 more mountains today. I'm gonna be wiped by the end of the day. I'm gonna have like 9,000 feet of vert with like 5 hours of driving and not that many miles, maybe 21 or 22 miles. So anyway, that was it for Crater Mountain. I wish they gave it a better name.